95 degrees Celsius here in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. The day is looking, as we like to say here, it's looking one kind. But if I were to speak English, I'll say it's looking overcast. Nonetheless, your daily dose of sunshine is here. Good morning and welcome to the program. I'm Maufe Oguyusu.
And I'm Ayo Makinde. It's 26 degrees here in Lagos and it's July 27. See? 25, 26, 27, whatever. Don't matter. The numbers follow each other. Let's just keep it at that. Anyway, welcome to the show. I'm Ayo Makinde once again.
Well, I already saw my colleagues making a meal out of it on the morning brief. I'm not about to do the same, Ayo. Okay. Surprisingly this morning, because we do know when it starts to get to that time of the week, those who are staring at their phones 200 times. But let's get to this. Let's get to the conversations that we have for you. And we do have quite a number of things for you this morning. One of them is a little cultural. And we know that there is one major ethnic group in Nigeria, of whom it is often said that if you do not find them in any community you visit, it's a red flag. And it should make you wonder. The Igbo are renowned not only for their industry and enterprise, but also for a culture that is bold, beautiful, and remarkably resilient. They've carried their traditions across generations and across continents, preserving institutions that define identity, leadership, and community. But they have an aspect of their culture, especially when it leaves the shores of Igbo land to other places, that have caused a bit of controversy. Well, maybe in some instances, more than a bit of controversy, it's actually caused conflict. And in recent times, the social-cultural organization, Ohaneze Indigo, has not been folding its hands and looking at this particular situation. It is what they call the emergence of kings, or Eze Indigo, which is usually the leadership of an Igbo settlement in whatever community they find themselves. Now, this has caused quite a bit of pushback from communities where these people have found themselves. In Lagos State, for instance, the title of Eze Indigo was banned. The use of His Royal Majesty, and because the contention was that you cannot leave your land and come and be king in somebody else's land that sometimes already has a traditional title holder. It's even worse when it is outside of Nigeria. I understand the Ghanaians, in some instances even South Africans, have also had issues with the use of this title, and it has caused quite a bit of controversy. So Ohaneze Indigo, as a social political organization, has had to step in and say, look, we are stopping the use of this title wherever. But the question is, leadership, or what I say generally, nature abhors the vacuum. So what is to be done? If you scrap that, what will be in its place? Because people always look to authority. They always look to leadership. And we've known for years that the Igbos always have their town unions and their communities. And they seek leadership in these places to be able to deal, at least give them a voice and give them some autonomy wherever it is that they are represented. Well, just a few days ago, we're told that Ohaneze Indigo has put heads together with the traditional rulers of Igbo land, and they have come up with another title which should be less contentious. It's called the Onyendu Indigo, which should generally mean an ambassador of Igbo land. So they're going to have, how do I put it now? They're going to have a list of rules, a list of criteria which you must meet, and those people who would emerge as the Onyendu must be approved by the traditional authorities in Igbo land, and they will act as ambassadors, not as kings, because not only has it caused contention in the places where these people are resident and claim authority in those places, but also causes contention back home where they emerge from, because you cannot now go home. Are you going to step down when you said you are easy somewhere and come back home and there's an easy back home? How does that work? So this solution, or Haneze is hoping, will eventually cause some understanding and foster a little more tolerance wherever it is that the Igbo people are to be found. So I don't know whether without looking at a final solution to this issue, which has caused a bit of rancor, however quietly it comes to play in elections, it comes to play in hospitality, it comes to play in many instances that, well, I guess the media tries to minimize, because, you know, we have a country to protect, we have a country to nurture, and it's better that we minimize our differences and try and promote the things that unite us. So I'm wondering whether, once and for all, this particular bone of contention has been laid to rest. What do you think?
Well, it's been a long time coming. Over the years, it's always been an issue among, should I say, patriotic Southeasterners who believe that the cultural and traditional symbolism of the title and the process that goes into it shouldn't be trivialized. You know, just for clarity, an Eze in the southeast of Nigeria is equal to an Oba in the Yoruba land. So for those who are wondering what all of that is about, so imagine you have Oba of Yorubas in Sokoto. That's pretty much what the whole thing is sounding like. And as far back, as far back as February last year, the Southeast Council of Traditional Rulers already ruled on it, and even this proposition of Onyendu Igbo had been recommended as far back as 2025. Excuse me. A month after that, the Association of Ndi Igbo rejected the change as far back as then, because they considered that their titles have been registered with Nigeria's Corporate Affairs Commission. This one that you are seeing on your screen by the Lagos State government is one of several such initiatives taken by various governments to foster peace. The federal government, through the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Bianca Ojukwu, has herself come out to say no. You know, on behalf of the federal government, that this is outlawed. So that partnership is there. Now, the challenge that we may now have, Maokwe, is now that this issue has come to a head, so to speak, because even as early as February this year as well, the conversation, the controversy has continued, and the pushback is not just going to go away. Now that this matter is coming to the fore, the question we should be asking my fellow, my friends and colleagues and fellow Nigerians, you know, all over the world is, what exactly is the objective of having that title? If the objective is to foster a cultural identity, then who are the custodians of that culture? I don't think it is the people who are using these titles outside Nigeria. It is home. It is at home. The people who are custodians are the people at home, in the Southeast in particular. And we have to identify, Maokwe, that the Southeast rulers, the rulers in the Southeast, are aligned with the Ohanese Igbo worldwide on this matter. In fact, the National Council of the Ohanese Igbo worldwide are aligned on this matter, and that is their position. The question you want to ask is, how will this be enforced? How will it be followed by the people who are talking about this now? Because ultimately, it is voluntary. And they have to take the decision themselves to go with this position that is being made by their leaders and their rulers in the southeast of Nigeria. We can only wait for the coming days to come and hope that the objective of representing the Igbo culture is more important than the title by which we go. There can be no two kings in a community. There can be no two captains in a ship. Anyone who is king of a particular community, you will not take kindly to another person calling himself a king of a section of the people. I don't even know what English word to use for that one. So let's be clear what the objectives are, and let the people who are pushing against this thing really ask themselves, what exactly is the objective of pushing back? Is it for ego, or there is some symbolism that the leaders in the Southeast are not seeing? I guess the conversation has started. Let's see how far the enforcement goes.
All right, Iowa, for those who missed that particular story, here's what was actually decided.
For years, the Eze Ndigbo title outside the Southeast has remained a subject of debate, with supporters citing cultural preservation and critics raising concerns over traditional authority and host community laws. Disputes in Lagos, Ghana and South Africa over legitimacy and recognition intensified the controversy, leading to restrictions on the title in Lagos, Ogun and Edo states. In response, the Southeast Council of Traditional Rulers and Ohanaeze Ndigbo, through its Committee on the Regularization of Igbo Diaspora Traditional Title and Leadership, embarked on consultations to create a more acceptable framework. At the ceremony in Owerri, the council inducted the second batch of diaspora leaders under the new title Onyendu Ndigbo, replacing the Eze Ndigbo designation after completing the first batch in May 2026. The event was led by the chairman of the Imo State and Southeast Council of Traditional Rulers, His Royal Majesty Emmanuel Okeke, alongside monarchs from the 5 Southeast states.
Southeast Council of Traditional Rulers welcomes you with open arms and the wish the state categorical that we expected nothing short of the best traditional Igbo leadership practices from you.
The committee clarified that the recognized individuals are cultural ambassadors, not traditional rulers, with a mandate to promote Igbo values, unity, and stronger ties with host communities.
First time, the Southeast Council of Traditional Rulers and the governors, and indeed Ohanaeze Ndigbo, supported by the federal government, has brought to an end these incessant coronations. And they came in and got a name that is acceptable across board of Onyendu Ndigbo. Therefore, wherever there are Igbos in the diaspora, they're supposed to constitute themselves peacefully and then elect a leader. And that leader will have to come down to the Southeast, screened, approved, and then given a go-ahead to be an ambassador for the traditional rulers of the Southeast. So this is historic, and this is a great achievement for the Igbo race.
The new inductees include representatives from Ghana, the Federal Capital Territory, Cote d'Ivoire, Japan, and other communities across Nigeria and the diaspora.
I think the Onyendu establishment now will bring down the dust of the misunderstanding of Eze Ndigbo structure. But all I want to assure everybody, as long as we are concerned, we will not stop promoting our culture, and we must make sure we are submissive to the authority of the foreign land where we live.
We are unity even before now, but it will add more value. We must come together, and we should remember home, and that is where we don't need to run away from our home. We need to come back.
The Southeast Council of Traditional Rulers say the Onyendu Ndigbo title will preserve Igbo identity abroad while promoting harmony with existing traditional institutions and laws of host communities. Eyi Tokpekuteyi, Channels Television News.
On the 2nd of February this year, there was an abduction that happened in Woro community in Kaiama local government area of Kwara State. 176 people, we understand, were taken in that particular abduction. As we speak, the women and children and community members are yet to return. And members of the community are now wondering if they too matter, if their lives are still important, especially after we were able to successfully get back the children who were kidnapped in Oriri local government area. This morning, we're joined by Dr. Umar Gunu Suleiman, who is the chairman of the Kaiama Development Association here in Abuja, and they're asking questions as to what is happening. This is in light of general protests that have now come up since the return of the children in Oriri local government area. Would you say, good morning and welcome to you,
good morning,
sir.
Good morning.
It is indeed troubling that,
yes,
178 days after, people were taken in your community, they're yet to return. What would you say has caused the overshadowing? Because in all honesty, some people will say this has been overshadowed, or this was overshadowed by a number of other events, the abduction of children in schools in Borno State, the abduction of children in Oyo State, which people felt was more primal than what happened in your local government, in Kaiama local government area. Would you hold that responsible for the lack of awareness, so to speak, on what exactly transpired in your community sometime in February?
Thank you. I think this is the situation Kaiama is facing. To start with, I think there is need for you to know where Kaiama position is.
Mm-hmm.
Kaiama is a local government in Kwara State. We are minority, not just in Kwara State, but in Nigeria. And our neighboring local government, Bauchi local government too, we are minority, and this is the only local government that has severe infrastructure challenges because of, maybe I think because we are minority, so to say. And
when you say you're minority, what do you mean?
Minority in terms of our maybe population, but in terms of landmarks, we are majority in Kwara. Not just Kwara, in Nigeria. In Nigeria, our neighboring local government, Bautin and Baugu, we are brothers, we are neighbors, we are from the same, Baugu region before. There are the local government with the largest landmark in Nigeria. Baugu. Kaiama was created out of Baugu.
Okay.
Bautin too was created out of Baugu from about in 1989.
And Baugu is where?
Baugu is in Nigeria now.
Yeah.
So Kaiama, when all of us, Baugu was in Kwara before it was moved to Nigeria. Then Kaiama local government and Bautin local government were created and moved to Kwara. Stayed back in Kwara. And since then, that challenge of that minority has been, giving us problem.
So you speak a different language from the generality of the population in Kwara, is that?
Yes.
But I do know that there are those who speak Yoruba.
We speak Bokobaru language and Batune language. There is two languages, another language in Bautin, which is Batuno. We have our own language, Bokobaru language. So these are the languages we speak around that area. And that minority thing is a very serious thing that is affecting us, not just in terms of government presence, but in terms of infrastructure. Even when there are issues, I don't think we are taken serious. And that is why the issue of war is still, not attended to. Yes, because if we are majority in the state, or majority in the federation, I think we will be giving serious attention.
Because you think that that's really the issue? Because I do remember, in fairness to the governor of the state, I do remember Governor Brackman. I remember that when the abductions happened in Kaiama, he visited.
Yes.
And the media visited alongside him. So a number of people believed that as a result of that visit, there should be clarity on precisely what has happened and steps that are going to be taken to make sure that they're able to get them back. So do you think that this is as a result of political failure, or this is a lack of interest? What exactly do you hold responsible, apart from being minority?
I think, yes, political failure, yes, I would say that political failure and lack of interest, because the circumstances that led to the attack were obvious. There are warnings. The warnings were very clear. The terrorists that attacked Woro are not far-fetched. There are people that are staying in Bangu Reserve. They are there, and Kaiama community has been alarming the security agencies of the presence of those terrorists there. I remember around last year, the defense ministry denied the claim that there are Ansarudin terrorists in that game reserve. But what happened? The attack. And before the attack, there was a letter written to the community. The letter was shared to the emir, was shared to the local government chairman, and he did share those letters to the security agency that were concerned.
So the terrorists wrote a letter?
Yes, that they are coming. And before that letter, there was military personnel that was stationed in Woro. That they attacked those military formation and they killed one military personnel. What was the government supposed to do? Reinforcement. But unfortunately, the military were withdrew. So they wrote a letter, no military backup, no military reinforcement, but withdrew.
This is very disturbing. I'm just a little curious.
And during the attack went on for more than 10 hours. We have a military barrack in Wawa, Niger State, just 30 kilometers away from there, from the scene of the attack. We are Air Force Base in New Busa, just 30 kilometers away from there.
So do you think that geographically, given where your community is, it should be connected more to Niger State than to Kwara? I'm just asking this.
No, Kaiama is, I think, is the last local government that connects the northern Nigeria to the southern Nigeria. Mm-hmm. Yes, because after Niger State, you go to, after Bangu local government, you enter Kaiama. From there, you enter Oyo State, which is southern Nigeria. I don't think it's that simple, because Niger State, the equator of Niger, is very far from Kaiama. But okay. Our problem apart from that is the fact that even as Kwarans, Kaiama and Bauteng cannot access their state headquarters directly within the state boundary. They have to go through the south, Oyo State, or through Niger. We don't have any link connecting us directly to the state capital.
That's very troubling.
That's troubling. And these are issues that are contributing to these security challenges.
For now, the people of your community have chosen not to stay silent.
Yes.
They have chosen to bring this issue to the fore.
Yes.
And they are saying our lives matter as well.
Yes.
What has been the response of the authorities since members of your community began to speak up?
Well, now, we've not heard anything from anybody. Even the state has not said anything. The federal government has not said anything. But we are not going to remain silent. We'll continue to hear our voices to ensure that our family members that are in captivity are returned back safely to us.
Okay. There was a protest which was done. I mean, this protest which you're referring to now, where did it happen?
The protest happened in Kaiama local government headquarters.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you think it would have been more effective if it happened, say, in Ilorin? Do you think it should happen in Abuja?
I think we just started it, and we are awaiting the response of the government. And if nothing is done, we have to. We can't keep quiet when the election is coming. And the pattern of election in Nigeria, when election is coming on, many issues, I don't know, are not taken seriously. But that's why we are out now to ensure that our voices are heard and there is, action from government, appropriate action from government to ensure that these people are rescued. In fact, I want to tell you that the Jagaba and Balgu you are hearing for our President, Mr. President, His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is from that region. It means
title was given to
yes,
him
the title was given to him by the Emir of Balgu. The late Dantoro gave him that title. It means the leader of that region. And we expect that he is going to do something, and we are hopeful that he will step in as the leader of that region to ensure that these people are rescued, not just those people that are kidnapped from war. We have other people that are kidnapped from other, neighboring local government like Barutain, Yashikira, like Nubusa, Wawa, and others. We want them rescued immediately before the election.
I know that my colleague Ayo will certainly have a question for you. Ayo.
Thank you, Marco. Let me begin from that point. I mean, it is very, very touching, Mr. Suleiman, Dr. Suleiman, the issue that brought you here today. You have spoken about the fact that government needs to do something, and there are three arms of government. Two of them are the ones that directly interface with the people, that's the executive and the legislators. Now, of all these categories, the state legislators and the federal legislators that represent the people of Kaiama, have you heard anything from them? Has any one of them come around to make any promises, at least a promise, or even show face to express their own concern or whatever it is that they can do? Isn't that supposed to be part of why they are there?
Yes, I think our representative, we have House of Representative member, Honorable Bio, he moved a motion of urgent national matters on the floor of the House of Rep. Also, the distinguished Senator Sadiq Umar also moved, I think, 2 or 3 motions in that respect. And since then, we have not heard anything. And we are very, very concerned, very pained. We are uncertain. We want our family members, our friends, women, children that were kidnapped to be rescued immediately so that much damage will not be done. And the fact is that these people are not far away from,
just a moment before you continue, Dr. Suleiman. How about the state legislators as well? You have representation there. How about the councillors? How about the local government chairman? What is any one of them doing? Because waiting for Abuja to come and intervene in something that some of them should be able to intervene on, I don't know, how that sounds. What's their own body language themselves to this?
Honestly, locally, local government level, the local government chairman has been making contact with the state, and the state legislator too have made effort with contact with the state government to ensure that actions are taken, and that is why a lot of local vigilantes were recruited to ensure that efforts were made. And we all know the security architecture of the country, where the security decision, the military, the police, the civil defense, they are the control of the federal government, and that is why the state the state government officials are usually telling us that what they can do is to push the matter through the state government to the federal government, who control the security to ensure that these actions are taken to ensure the release of the abducted victims.
Is there any contact whatsoever with the abductors? Anything we can say, okay, maybe the 176 abductees are still intact? Any location, any idea, any relationship whatsoever, contact with the abductors?
Since the abduction, we had 2 videos. I think 2 videos. Yes, they released 2 videos. The first video showing the women and the children that were adopted, telling the world that they have these children, 176. And the second video was to threaten the government and the community that if action is not taken, these people will be killed. And I think they demanded for billions. I can't remember how much. I think it's a lot of billions of naira was their demand. And the state said they are not ready to pay any ransom to any criminal. And that kind of money cannot be afforded by any individual nor the community. So I think that is the problem. And since then, we have not had anything from them. But the important thing we know is the fact that that forest, the Bargur Game Reserve, is the forest that is harboring the criminals. So if that forest is cleared, if efforts is made to cut that forest and clear that forest, I think a lot of result will come out from that.
Well, you mentioned elections the other time. You said elections are coming, and naturally, elections must hold in every local government and every ward, more than 8,000 or thereabouts in Nigeria as at today. What is the community giving any conditions concerning that? There was a protest. You and Maokwe have spoken about the protests. There must have been an intention for that protest. Now, you also said that elections are on the way. Now, any moment from now, maybe in a couple of months from now, campaigns will start. It will be expected that all the people who want to get into office at the federal level, state level, they're going to campaign, even as far as this particular local government that you're talking about, possibly even the community.
Yes,
Are there any demands or any conditions being given by the people of Kaiama that, look, if you don't do this, we won't do this?
For now, there is not any demand regarding election or not participating in the forthcoming election. But what I can say and what I've observed from my people is the fact that this singular issue is giving the government a bad name, particularly the APC government. And if nothing is done to salvage the situation, the APC will not have the guts to go there and campaign, because people will be angry. People will be angry. In fact, I don't think they will be given the ground to go there to campaign, because this issue is a very serious issue to the community, and is giving the community a sleepless night, and effort must be made to ensure that these people are rescued before any campaign starts. If not, I doubt if APC will have the goals, because they will feel that it's APC government and APC should be responsible for rescuing these people. We are part of Nigeria, and what we are asking for is not too much. It is our constitutional right. You know, the responsibility of any government is the welfare of the people and security. If that is not guaranteed, I don't think nothing matters. So people are angry, and it will anger the people more if they show their faces there for any campaign. And
now
there's no condition now, but I think that will come.
Okay. Now that you have mentioned the political party, there are those who have also indicated that many of the abduction situations, kidnappings, insecurity, terrorism activities, they are mostly politically motivated. Do you see any chance that that's what's happening here?
No, I don't think that is happening here, because Kaiama is majorly an APC community. An APC community, there is no election that comes, and Kaiama will not deliver for APC since 2015. And before the 2015 election, Kaiama has been with President Muhammadu Buhari since his first contact in 2003. So Kaiama has been with APC from the start. So there's no way anybody from Kaiama will have any political interest in the, escalating the security issue there. I don't think so. But I strongly believe it is out of that, and if actions is not taken to ensure that these people are rescued, I doubt if APC will have the optimal support or the usual support they usually have when election comes.
Well, we'll hope that, if whatever it is that happens with the elections, that the lives of the people of Kaiama, especially rural community, is taken seriously enough, and that, politics is not played with it. We're hoping that we get to see the response of the governor of the state on this particular matter, perhaps even starting from the local government chairman, because we understand that even they too now have some wherewithal. So we're hoping that we'll get the response of the local government chairman, the response of the state government, and even the response of the federal government, who currently still holds, all full authority in terms of security arms. So just tell us, though, how hopeful are you? Prayerfully, these people will return. But how hopeful are you that when state police is eventually introduced, your community will not feel so left out as to be on the fringes?
Honestly, this is another serious issue, but we are hopeful, we are prayerful that the state police will not be used as other state agencies are used. We have state INEC, we have state local government, we have state universities. If you compare these agencies with federal, agencies that are controlled by federal government, there is a lot of parity. Their performance is not at par. Their performance is below standard. So we just hope that the state police will not be used like other agencies are used. That's our fear. But we hope that if they actually intend to work, they will work. If they want to work, they will work. If they want to allow them to work, they will work. But politics in Nigeria is something else. It is usually not normal. It is not normal. All the conditions are not usually equal. There are criteria, there are indices, there are dimensions, a lot of dimensions to Nigerian politics. So that is why our own cannot be 100%, but we just pray that the government will do the right thing.
Well, certainly very legitimate concerns that you have there, and all of Nigeria will certainly now be looking to Kaiama community to see how the government of the day eventually reacts to your cry for help, the SOS that you have now sent out. Thank you very much for coming on Sunrise Daily this morning.
Thank you.
Dr. Umar Gunu Suleiman is the chairman of Kaiama Development Association here in Abuja, an association that represents the Kaiama people as well, whose homes were attacked by, terrorists, and Woro in particular, 176 people were taken from that community 178 days ago, and so many days after, months and months after, they're yet to hear anything from state authorities, from government authorities about the well-being and welfare of these people who are Nigerians and have been taken by terrorists. Well,
last appeal, I want to appeal to the government, the president, the Jagaba of Barugu, the leader of Barugu, so to say, that you are the leader of Barugu. Barugu is in crisis. We need your help. We need your support. The security challenge there is not more than the military. The military can handle it. The military can handle it. What they need is maybe support capacity and all that. resources, capacity, if they are given that, I am very sure that Bargu Game Reserve will be liberated and free from banditry, and what is making banditry in that region very easy is the road infrastructure. All the federal roads there are bad. We need your help to ensure that these roads are, repaired so that free movement, increase movement around that corridor will reduce security challenges. Thank you.
Thank you very much for speaking with us, Dr. Suleiman. Well, we'll take a break now. When we come back, we will be looking at the elections proper. What exactly are the preparations and the concerns of CSOs as they watch what is happening with the regulator and the polity? In just a moment, please stay with us.
Our next conversation this morning, thank you for staying with us, is ensuring credible 2027 elections. And to have this conversation this morning is someone who has been at this for a while. Hamzat Lawal is Chevening Scholar and Master's student, Institute of Development Studies at the University of Sussex. He is also founder, Connected Development Code. He joins us virtually, as you can see. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Nigerians, and thank you for having me.
Well, most certainly, it's been a long time coming. We're here now. Yesterday, the CVR ended, at least as per the announcements that have gone forward, and so many people, even religious organizations outside of INEC, were doing their best to help people, as many people as possible, beat the deadline of the registration. What are your thoughts on the process so far? There are those who wonder whether or not a number of people got enough information about it, plus the initiative that the INEC took to allow people to register virtually, remotely from their phones and their devices or whatever. What are your thoughts on that process so far?
I think that the process itself was seamless, because when you look at this process was close to a year, and then INEC heeded to the call by civil society, media, religious body, and other key stakeholders to extend it for about 2 weeks. I think it was seamless. Yes, I think we still did not have as much people that would want. I'm looking forward to INEC publishing how much people have been captured in this exercise that lasted for close to a year. We started last August. But I also think that there are lessons here for us to learn, in the sense that continuous voters registration should not be ceremonial. And what do I mean? Can we have a system or a process where we don't have to stop? Or even when we have to stop CVR, maybe we stop it because of an impending election, so that INEC can have enough time to procure and produce, then deal with the logistics of distribution of permanent voters card or collection of permanent voters card. Probably after the 2027 elections, let's open up the continuous voter registration exercise. and let it run until a few months to the elections. But that being said, I think also this is an opportunity where we should have a conversation about data. And what do I mean by data synchronization? Year in, year out, we have different means of identification as citizens. You have your name, which is your national identification number. You have your BVN provided by the bank. You have your driver's license. You have your national ID card. You have your passport. So I think we need to rethink how we capture people into the election database. When are we going to get to a point where we'll sync this data together? Since citizens are exposed to having their name, when would INEC integrate NIM into her national election register? And I'm taking this experience from our observation in the United States of America and also in Kenya, because Connected Development has deployed observers to not just in Nigeria but also internationally. And I remember our time in the US. As long as you come up with any means of identification that is verifiable, you would not be torn away. In short, I remember the polling officers say nobody walks into the polling unit and turn back. Even if you got your polling station wrong, we will not turn you back, because every vote actually matters and it counts. Because when you turn people away, some of these people would not want to come back. So again, so we don't have to continue to deal with that bottleneck. When are we going to sync our national identity process so that people don't have to go through different processes just to get identification that are verifiable?
Another issue on the same register is the number of voters. As at 2023, we understand that INEC listed about 93.4 million voters on the voter register in Nigeria, on the registered voter register in Nigeria. But then one of the concerns that you and several others like you have raised over time is, how do we weed or audit the register to ensure that we have the true number of voters? Because the percentage of voters who turn out to vote is usually measured against whatever existing data we have. No one has come out, for instance, to tell us, okay, so number of people have had to die, so number of people have left the country, all of them still have their names in the register. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it is something necessary?
Oh yes, I think first, let me even pause and take us back. Now that INEC have ended CVR exercise, there are 4 things that INEC have to do, and they must set a clear timeline in doing this. First is to display the voters register, whether the claims are objective. And what do I mean? Immediately following this conclusion, INEC is legally required, it's important to stress this, INEC is legally required to display the preliminary registration of voters. What this means is it allows people to go and check their details, to visit, the various local government, and people can file claims, and also if there are any gray area, they can ensure that it's addressed so that they are not disenfranchised. And citizens can then raise objections. Secondly, and which addresses your question, is how do INEC automate biometric identification system cleanup? Because you see, over time we've said that when do we audit our national election register? And I think this has provided an opportunity where abyss has to be cleaned up. And as INEC does this, they must engage the media, civil society, political party and security agencies and other key stakeholders, because it's important that as we capture new people into the register, we must ensure that it goes through this abyss system to, one, detect double or multiple registration, so that anyone who attempts to have multiple registration, the CVR window would have their duplicated registration invalidated by the system. So again, this is an opportunity for us to audit our register. So that people who have died or people who have left the country, so INEC can have a register that they can beat their chest and say, this is a robust, updated register as we go into the 2023 election. Thirdly, and this has to do with logistics, the printing and collection of the permanent voters card. Because you see, as much as people are excited and you got millions of people to come out to register, and to come out to get registered, when they don't get their permanent voters card or collect it in time, this hampers what becomes the outcome of our elections. So again, INEC, most importantly, must announce next steps in terms of where and when to collect permanent voters card. How do people locate collection point? And particularly, I'm particular about people with disability, because again, INEC have always stressed inclusion, and we cannot have a society where we exclude people. So how do people collect their permanent voters card in good time? And how ensuring that, again, there's also an opportunity here. How do INEC probably collaborate or integrate their system, working with NIPOST? I've seen, particularly in other countries, where you can collect your election document from post office, or INEC can work with post office, but a postman or a postwoman can deliver your permanent voters card to you in your comfort. Because again, we want to have a process where people don't have to go through a process that is seamless and people don't have to stress. And maybe lastly, how do people verify their polling unit? And just before I came on the show, just to also check, information provided by INEC on their website, I went to check my polling unit just, to verify that, when I'm registered to vote, and I can, locate my polling station, in my political ward in my state in Nigeria. So yes, how can people verify? And this is where they can also work with. Yeah. Sorry, Mark, but this is also again where they can work with telecommunications companies. Maybe with a short code, you can, send a short code and you get an information about your polling unit, so that on election day you can just stroll or walk.
Well, certainly a lot that you've listed. I know that there are 4 major points that you are listing for INEC in terms of what it needs to do. What would you ask potential voters to do as they prepare also for the 2027 elections?
Mark, sorry, you have to take that again. I lost you for a few seconds.
I was saying that you have listed about 4 things, if not more, for INEC to do, 4 important things that you want them to do, collaborations, etc. I was wondering what you will also be asking the voter, the potential voter, to do as well, because we cannot leave all of it in the hands of INEC, can we?
Yes, thank you, Mark. It's good to see you on the big screen.
Indeed.
This election is about citizens. And as citizens, first, we must remain peaceful and resolute, because this is a process where the future of Nigeria is in our hands. And this is where power goes back to the people. This is a process where we are determined to choose who becomes the leader of our great country, and not just the presidential election, but at the subnational, which is the state people who enter both state assembly and become federal lawmaker. We must remain peaceful. We must be careful about fake news, misinformation, and disinformation. You must be able to verify information before you share them. Because I've also connected development. We've already started our pre-election observation assessment. And fake news is rampant. So let us keep our ears down, our eyes open for information that comes from INEC, because INEC is the only independent electoral umpire, and they are the only ones mandated by law to provide election information. So as citizens, please let us be patient, but most importantly, follow the directive of INEC. And as we do so, and because one thing that caused a bit of controversy after the 2023 election is the disparity between the electoral law and the INEC guideline. And I think that as we go into this election, INEC must also update their guideline and ensure that they take their guideline or inspiration from their guideline from the law itself. So campaigns will soon start, and this is an opportunity again for citizens to interrogate political party manifesto, candidates manifesto, attend town hall meeting, and continue to engage this entire process and make an informed decision as we go into 2027 elections. I think also, let's support the security agencies, because when you see something, you say something. I'm in a society where anything you see, you have to report it, because again, for us to live in harmony, we must also become actors to tackle insecurity. We have, a police IG who is open to collecting feedback, but most importantly, using citizens' action and citizens' voice to inform, what they do. So let us be very vigilant, because again, as we go into an election, security itself is important, but we cannot leave security now in the hands of security agencies alone. They would want to rely on the intelligence, the human intelligence that we provide. We provide them.
Well, I really do wish that we had a little more time. We would have been exploring, this issue of trust and how well INEC has been able to bridge it since the last elections. And it's going to be very important even as we get into the 2027 elections. Well, we have to thank you for your time with us. We wish you all the very best. Hamzat Lawal is the founder of Connected Development, and he is currently a Shipman Scholar and Master's student at the Institute of Development Studies at the University of Sussex. Thank you so much for speaking with us this morning, Hamzat.
Thank you, Martha. Bye-bye now.
All right, that's where we draw the curtains on today's program, but your opinions are always sorted, so please let us know what you make of the issues which we've raised with you this morning, the issue of Oyendu, Indigbo, as well as the security situation in Kaiama. And then you can let us know if you have collected your voter's card. sunrisedaily@channelstv.com is our email handle. Thank you so much. I'm Malpe Ogun Yusuf.
Well, just so we're not just playing lip service, sunrisedaily@channelstv.com is the email address. It will be wonderful to have your feedback, and guaranteed we will read them where need be. Business Morning is up on the hour. I'm Ayo Makinde. Enjoy the rest of the day.